Carolyn Doobie here, and I have a special guest today in the studio. I have my husband, Dave, here. He has volunteered to be a blank slate for me. I am getting things ready for my art journaling fundamentals workshop, and I thought I'd share some of the fundamentals with you, and I realized I could also test him in the process to see how well he's been listening all these years to what I share and what I do. I think there's a chance he's just been nodding along really politely and not fully understanding what I've been doing. But that's okay. He doesn't need to know it ahead of time. He can find it all out right now in this video because he's actually going to create an art journal page for us in this video series. So are you ready, Dave?
I can do it.
Okay. Well, the first thing we have to do is pick a journal because art journaling, well, you need something to art journal on. So what art journal do you want to use?
What's an art journal?
Well, that's the thing I've been doing for years.
Okay.
Down in the studio, and I show you things with it.
Oh, okay.
You know, color, paint, images, stenciling in a book-like thing.
Oh,
art journaling.
Is it one of these things?
It is one of these things.
All right. How do you pick?
Well, it depends on what you want to do. Are you feeling a little overwhelmed by all the choices?
Just a little, like, seriously, it all looks the same to me. Too many choices.
Well, let me tell you some of the reasons behind some of the journals.
Okay.
So the first thing that you have to decide is, do you like a journal that lays flat or one that stays open? For me, I really like the ones that are flat because it's easier to work on.
Okay.
Then the other thing is you've got to decide what size you like to work with. Do you want one this size? Do you want something smaller, bigger, somewhere in the middle? So you have choices like that. But more important than any of those things is what kind of paper it is. So if you're going to put wet things on it, if you use something really, really thin like a magazine, which you can art journal in those, people do it all the time. Thing is, if you use paint and wet stuff on it, it's going to wrinkle and warp a lot. So if you don't want wrinkle and warp, you don't want a super thin paper. Now, you can go to the extreme and use something like watercolor paper, and it can take a lot of water because it's watercolor paper.
Oh.
But it's really heavy, it's thick, and frankly, it's more expensive. And I don't like to use the most expensive stuff when art journaling because it's just play, and I get kind of wrapped up if I end up spending a fortune on the paper. So that's why I don't do the really heavy stuff.
Okay.
So I kind of rule that stuff out. So you might want to do that too.
Okay.
So don't do that.
I can take a hint.
Now, would you like to use a bought journal, or would you actually like to hand bind your own journal?
That sounds like a lot of work.
It is more work.
I don't think so. Let's rule that out. I like this. We're ruling things out one by one. That works for me. I don't like the small one. I don't know why.
Okay.
I'm sorry. You tell me why I don't like it.
So here's the thing with this is much nicer. I took this one on vacation. Do you remember me doing this on vacation? I did this exact page with you right there.
Did not, you liar.
I did too. It was on the beach.
Must have been your other
ocean.
husband.
So you can actually art journal in an actual book, and you just gesso over it, paint over it, whatever. You can use, really anything can be an art journal that you want to work on. But you don't like the small one, and you don't even remember me doing this. That cost you some points, FYI. So now do you want, if you didn't like the small, do you want to go with a really big one? This is a vintage ledger. And so you've got pages like that to work on. Do you want a really big journal?
No.
No. Okay. So we can rule that one out. All right. So we've got this one. Now, these two journals, the big difference between these, this one is a Dilutions journal, and it doesn't have any kind of coils in the middle, whereas this one does. So when you open this one up to 2 pages, you've got the coil there. So if you want to do a big spread, this is in your way. Mm-hmm. Or you can work on just that and just work that way, or you can work this way. This one's bigger. This one is smaller than that one when open. The thing about these is they have very similar weights of papers. They can take some paint, they can take some abuse, so that makes them great for a mixed media journal. So which of these two do you think you want to art in?
If I was going to go with a really big one, I would have just chosen the big one. So let's just go with that one.
Well, now he's chosen his journal. In the next video, you're going to see him pick what art supplies he wants to use to make a page in that journal.
Yes, I am.
Now, if you want to make sure that you see that video, be sure you find the link down below, get signed up by email, and the video will be emailed to you, so you'll be sure to see what kind of trouble he gets into in the next video.
Trouble?
Yes.